Ken from Cleveland here. We need to talk about guns. Look, I'm a vet. I grew up hunting. I taught my kids to shoot the right way. I'm not anti-gun. But the gun worship by the extreme right is killing us. Guns are now the leading cause of death among American children. Not cancer, not even car accidents. It's guns. The other day, my 10-year-old son told me he was nervous about going back to school. I thought he was worried about making friends or whether he'd like his teacher. He said he was worried about getting shot. I spent time in Afghanistan. I expected to worry about that kind of thing there. Part of the reason I joined the military was so that kids like mine would be safe and not have to worry about that here, especially at school. I have lived all over the world, and we are the only country where mass shootings are a regular thing, where kids practice active shooter drills like they're a game. You know what the gun extremists say about that? They say we need to start arming teachers, that we need even more guns. You've heard their mantra. The only thing that stops a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. There were 376 law enforcement officers at the Uvalde school massacre standing around while one bad guy with a gun slaughtered those kids and their teachers. You'll hear other excuses, plenty of them. Ted Cruz talked about too many doors at that elementary school. Mental health comes up all the time. You know what? Plenty of other countries have schools with doors, and every country has mental health challenges. What's different here? Why does this keep happening here? It's the guns. So why can't we do anything about it? Let's start with something simple, like background checks for every gun sale and red flag laws to keep guns out of the hands of dangerous people. The vast majority of Americans support common sense gun laws like these. But too many states are headed in the opposite direction, eliminating the need for permits, allowing open carry of firearms in public, and requiring no training whatsoever. The gun nuts tell us that those are their rights. That's BS. I don't need a law degree from Yale, which I have, to tell you that. When the Second Amendment was passed, there were no AR-15s. Gun extremists love to cite the Second Amendment. Most of them don't even know what it says. They sure don't seem to have read the first 4 words, which are a well-regulated militia. That's how it starts. The Second Amendment begins with a call for regulation. But here we are, 231 years later, with gun extremists insisting that the founders wanted them to have modern military weapons with 30-round magazines. For hunting, they say. If you need a 30-round magazine to take down a deer, you are a terrible shot and you need to go back to the range. So we've got too many guns with too much firepower, and it's too easy to get them. I've been to a war zone. I know what these weapons are designed for and what they can do. And I'm telling you, an AR-15 has no business in the hands of a civilian. You know how long it takes to empty a 30-round magazine on semi-automatic into a classroom or a shopping mall or a church or a synagogue? It takes seconds. And 99 times out of 100, as we saw at Uvalde, the good guys with guns aren't going to stop it. So we need to regulate firearms and accessories like the Second Amendment requires. We do it for cars, and no one's losing their mind at the DMV that the government is coming for their Ford Mustang. You want to drive? You take a lesson, prove you're responsible enough to get behind the wheel, and you get a license. It's part of being a responsible member of society. Why can't we do the same for guns? Want to be a gun owner? Take a class. Prove that you know how to use one safely and that you're not unhinged. An overwhelming majority of Americans want this. So what's stopping us? Well, it's one of the unfortunate downsides of a system in which a few well-organized, well-funded extremists, led by groups like the NRA, can own just enough politicians to block reasonable reform. I remember back when the NRA was about gun safety and marksmanship. Today, it's an extremist organization that has made its leaders incredibly wealthy, flying around in private jets, using membership dues for shopping sprees, and then they give millions to politicians to do their bidding. It doesn't take many, just a few Ted Cruzes are enough, and the rest of us are held hostage. So what do we do? First of all, don't give up hope. There are more of us than there are of them. Find out who the gun sense candidates are in your state. Moms Demand Action has a great list. And then vote like your life depends on it. From the State House to the U.S. Senate, hold the gun extremists accountable. And if all they're offering after the next school massacre is thoughts and prayers, throw them out. We can do this. Democracy still works, and we've got the numbers. We just have to keep our eye on the ball. That's it. Let's get to work.